you've said, look, I just can't sit by as a bystander anymore. You obviously felt this need to speak up now. I'm wondering what it's going to take from Washington for you to feel comfortable that we are, again, as a nation, on a correct trajectory that would make you, again, want to contribute to campaigns.
Well, Poppy, I'm not in a position to prescribe a solution. What I'm asking for, with great respect, is civility among congressional members and the administration, for them to return to work. I don't begrudge anyone for taking a vacation, but we are in the middle of a crisis and people should be in Washington solving America's problems. But in addition to that, the short-term deal that was agreed upon has created such uncertainty in the marketplace. We need a long-term debt ceiling deal that removes that uncertainty. And then most specifically, as I've said in the past, the issue that we're facing as a country right now is that for the longest time, the longest period in our history, that America's foreign policy has been really linked to the strength of our domestic economy and the domestic agenda. The reason that our foreign policy right now is under such pressure is because the domestic economy and the domestic agenda right now is not on the course that we hope it would be. And I think once and for all, we need to focus on Americans, American jobs, and the American economy.
I'd love your reaction to the plan Warren Buffett outlined in the New York Times on Monday morning, raising taxes on those that make over $1 million a year and then even more on those that make over $10 million a year, and additionally increasing the tax rate on carried interest, capital gains, and dividends. Do we just point blank need higher taxes to get out of this rut?
Well, I spoke to Warren directly on Friday. He shared with me that he was going to be writing this op-ed piece. And certainly there are elements of what Warren has suggested that I am in agreement with. I don't want to get into the specifics, but I think that what Warren has outlined has a lot of merit and should be taken very seriously.
Just speaking to the average American, Howard, right now, that is struggling, many people in this economy, what is your message to them? Do you believe that Washington can indeed get it together, that we can progress as a nation, or are you concerned that we're not going to see action?
I remain my optimism for our country, and I want to remain my optimism with regard to the leadership in Washington. But I think we need to see not words, not campaign promises, not ideology or self-interest. We need to see the level of coordination, cohesion, and civility among Washington, the administration, and members of Congress to work together to solve America's problems. But I am extremely optimistic about the future of our country, and certainly the American people deserve better than what we're getting.
You know, we've just gotten sort of a 1-2 punch in the last week and a half. The S&P downgrade that Warren Buffett says is completely unjustified. Others say it's a wake-up call, it's a clarion call for this country. Then all the stock market volatility, a lot of wealth lost in the past week. What is your take? Is this sort of a clarion moment for the country?
Well, I think there's no doubt about it that this is a significant moment in time in our history. But with regard to the S&P, my own view of the S&P downgrade was as much a part of the dysfunctionality in Washington as it was about the balance sheet of America. And I think what they're really saying is that they felt a degree of fracture of confidence in the ability of Washington to move the country forward in the right direction. And that's why I think this is a very important moment to send a powerful signal to Washington that business leaders and like-minded Americans on both sides of the aisle want to see the status quo changed, and we want to see Washington work together to solve America's problems, get the economy going again, because Americans deserve better than this.